have won a free prize. That's right. Your attendance at this very oration round qualifies one of you to receive today's World of Knowledge Grand Prize. A check for $10,000 and an iPhone 4G are yours. All you have to do is raise your hand when you recognize which part of the earth I am describing. Ready? The people all have dark brown skin, flat noses, big lips, and woolly hair. They love to play the drums and dance, and they eat monkeys. Many of them put bones through their noses, and they used to cook people in big pots. Rape and murder are out of control. Wars fought by heartless 12-year-old boys with machine guns. Wild animals are the only noble and truly interesting thing in... That's right, Africa. Oh, goody, goody. Yes, yes, my brothers. You have all won part of the prize. You won the prize. But you see here, what's sad about winning the prize is that you win because you recognize these stereotypes about my Africa that I get from living in America. This evening I want to assure you that winning the prize is no gift when bogus stereotyping creates the pitch. Today we must unwrap the paper, open up the box, and put away the ugly ribbons. If only you all could leave this room here today having heard the truth about my Africa and be able to distinguish between fact and fiction of the dark continent. And the next time you hear Africa, you will have won the bona fide prize. So, how do we unwrap the paper? See, we are oftentimes attracted to the wrapping paper effect of stereotypes. Embossed little trees or polka dots can hide what's inside the box. The same way stereotypes conceal the truth. In 1922, journalist, media critic, and American philosopher Walter Lippmann described these stereotypes as the fortress of our tradition, a way to hide behind the defenses so we can continue to feel ourselves safe in the position we occupy. Much like the opaque nature of gift wrap, stereotypes are packaged to confuse us. Now, the position behind all these considerations is not that the stereotypes are wrong, but who controls and defines them and what interests they serve. Now, we've oohed and ahed long enough about the gift wrap. Let's rip it off and discard those layers of decoration. Let's open the box of reality. Sadly, what is called the single story can hide the reality of Africa and the authenticity of long-held beliefs. The single story method of communication encourages and allows the same story to get told over and over and over again about a people or a place we do not know firsthand. The danger of this technique is that it leads to stereotypes, to half-truths, not the full truth. So many Americans think of Africa as being full of hungry, unwashed children, not a place where there are libraries, bus drivers, or true love. Now, the single story is the opposite of what Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie calls the balance of stories, where all people get to tell their own stories in their own words. Nigerian author Chimamanda Adichie believes in the power of stories and warns that only hearing one story or one report about a people or a place can lead to ignorance. Now, Miss Adichie grew up in middle-class Nigeria, the daughter of a professor. It was not that the American press had lied to her with a single-story fallacy. Instead, it was the power of the single story to paint a false picture of the world. She says the truth is revealed by many tales. Now, Miss Adichie illustrates this juxtaposition with the story about coming to the United States and meeting her college roommate. Adichie says her roommate's default position toward her as an African was a kind of patronizing, well-meaning pity. Her roommate had one single story of Africa, a single story of catastrophe. Adichie's roommate was also shocked to learn that her English was so good and that her tape of tribal music was in fact R&B artist Mariah Carey. Now imagine if everything we knew about America or white people came from the films of Spike Lee or James Cameron. Wow. See, that's proof why there is no way that any single story, any author or film director can present the human fullness of his own people, in his own time and in his own place. it would necessarily be limited, making his own people seem limited, strange and exotic to those who know nothing else about them. Now the flimsy paper of the single story is gone. The box of reality is open. The distractions fueled by half-truths and generalizations need to stop. Let us discover the real treasure, which is the continent of Africa. It is time for the 53 nations to celebrate. Sadly, you won't see this body with lip plates and neck rings in that National Geographic coffee table book you have at home. And I find it so sad that the media talks as if Africa were the four horsemen of the apocalypse: war, famine, plague, and death. I read a piece in The Guardian recently by a woman who said that she would not go to South Africa because she would probably get raped. It's sad to believe that same absurdity still exists. You'll shake the head at the boy who sat right behind me in my world history class when he said, "Dude, I want to go to Africa so I can speak Swahili with my tribe and watch babes run around naked." Sad to believe that same absurdity still exists again. See, what we must stop doing is clinging to a view of Africa's stagnation. What we must do is dig for the gold in Africa and use education as our shovel. Africa's future is absolutely refreshing. Technologically and culturally, the beautiful African nation will arise. Did you know that Nigeria, otherwise known as Nollywood, has just passed Bollywood as the second largest exporters of movies in the world? Or that Angola last year had the highest growth rate due to its oil sector? 80 years ago, the most porous and violent place in the world was China, and the people in the West talked about it like they do Africa today, while China challenges the United States for world leadership. This view of stagnation is not good. Let us realize the beauty in Africa. I understand Africa is not perfect. Yes, the infrastructure is low, but I take pride in my continent. I take pride in the fact that there are beautiful people there. Yes, we do have success. Yes, life does actually flourish there. But the media doesn't really show us a much view of that. What we need to stop doing is letting the media give us a limited view about Africa and more time educating ourselves about it. Just like any other gift, the gift of knowledge is yours only if you reach out and take it. Maybe being able to reach out and take that gift is a gift in itself. Now, I hope none of you who are watching this waited on this oration to promise you the greatest gift of all. A reminder to us all to look beneath the surface and examine our views. And once we learn the facts, we are better able to win the prize.